few minutes to tune in, drop in. These are the Transformational Tuesday series. I wanted to give you a little insight in case you are new. I'm ranked top 5 female psychic in the US, which means I am qualified to bring you into a very beautiful and deep connection to your own inner world, to your own higher self. I really believe that by tuning into our inner heart awareness, we're connecting in with the frequency of our soul. Or, as I even like to say, your signature frequency. It's like your vibrational thumbprint, your vibrational blueprint that you have inside of you. When we turn our conscious understanding, our mind, into the awareness of our heart center, into that soul frequency, all sorts of magic starts happening in our lives. We start to see what we're truly capable of, what we came here to do, what things aren't aligned with our absolute or the timeline of our absolute best. It really is a beautiful thing when we start connecting even more deeply with our inner soul calling. The amount of fulfillment and joy that it brings to bring you into a deeper radiance and connection to yourself is absolutely incredible. So let's go ahead and start with a prayer, and I'm going to dive into a transmission that's going to help you move all this energy very quickly so that you can have your own experience with it. All right. Take a couple nice big deep breaths. As we call in divine truth and love into this sacred space, we invoke the highest possible healing for each and every viewer, replayer, and myself. We ask for the courage and compassion to speak and to hear from the purest form of self-love and forgiveness to all involved. Taking another nice big deep breath and just feeling your energy settle after that prayer. And connect your root chakra from right there, the base of your spine, all the way down to the center of Mama Gaia. Allowing all that energy to move through, surrendering deeply, allowing, connecting, remembering. O satani ikia wapu utukaya, ia tani iku wapuku sutake akatani iawa wapukua, sutani kia akasatekeawa, o tani ki asata etikeawa waputukua niawa. Oa ha'atani iawa puasaya ha'akapua. Go ahead and take a couple nice big deep breaths and simply allow your mind to wander. Let it go wherever it wants to go in this moment. Allowing the energy that's around you to settle fully to the center of the earth. Connecting again even more deeply. Allow all that is moving through you to just simply be released. Setting yourself in the space of the intention of your heart, that inner being, the connection to your infinite and immortal self, knowing that that infinite and immortal self is there to love you, to adore you, to be with you, to radiate with you. And again, the reason why it is so important for us to create that conscious connection, that conscious flow, fluidity from that inner heart space, is because this is the access point to your soul's journey. This is the access point to your divine purpose. This is the access point to all that is you, all that is around you, all that is beaming through you, that inner heart being. It is your internal guidance. It's your internal radiance. In this world right now, I cannot impress it enough how important it is to learn how to trust yourself and how to learn how to discern from the information that is around. What is good for you and what is not good for you, what is for you, what is not for you, and allowing these parts of your inner working, these parts of your inner guidance system to be fully activated, fully alive, and in full unison and trust between your heart's inner working and your divine mind. This will cut through all misinformation. This will cut through any and all lies. This will cut through any and all distortion or distraction energy so that you can be very clear and very competent with where you are in the world, what you're putting out there, who you're connecting with, what you're co-creating with, or what you're creating for yourself. All of these things are going to come so much more easily when you're aware of how your inner heart being feels and allowing that radiance, allowing that frequency to actually envelop your entire energy field so that all else can slip away, all else can fall away. So let's go ahead and just turn up, and I love because the rain is just starting to pick up where I'm at. Go ahead and turn up that inner radiance, turn up that inner dial, turn up that awareness. And as you have your grounding cord, your root chakra connected there to the center of the earth, just go ahead and visualize, picture from your inner heart space a golden beam of light, a golden sphere of light. And watch that as it just grows bigger and grows bigger and grows bigger and grows bigger. And noticing anything that isn't you or anything that's causing restriction or resistance. Allow that to just simply liquefy, dissipate, release completely. You can even explore it with a bit of curiosity. If you find yourself bumping into a lot of resistance, you can use curiosity to just say, what would it feel like if? What would it feel like if this was shifted? What would it feel like if I was free from this resistance? Or what would it feel like if I was free from this XYZ, whatever it is? But allowing that shift to take place from the center of your own heart. And as that center of your own heart, it's working for me already. From that center space inside of your heart, as that beams and as that opens and as that continues to radiate, all these other things, all these other frequencies that are in your body will really start to move. They'll start to rearrange. They'll start to either match that energy or they'll start to sometimes panic. This is why some people don't like to do this. If it's a really, really hardwired belief or something like that, like the extreme reaction would be panic. So when you're in that space and you're moving this energy and you're feeling that golden ball of light really start to grow and really start to beam, and you notice that there's outlines or like energy has all sorts of different textures and colors and densities. And so when you're there, when you're feeling that, when you're acknowledging that deeper churning inside of yourself and you're noticing that there's a different sort of radiance that's starting to come through, that wants to come through, but from the outside there's this pressure, what we want to do is breathe into and allow that energy to shift. This keeps us out of the story. So you're moving through life, you're moving through your day, you're moving through whatever it is, and this person does XYZ, which causes this reaction inside of your body, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That involves a lot of processing. So we're kind of just skipping the processing part and being aware that, okay, well, if this person did this and it caused this sort of reaction, all of that is an energetic composition that's happening inside of your body. A trigger was hit, this frequency was activated, so then it was like, generate more of this because this is what normally is the reaction to this. Well, what we want to do is recognize where any and all of that like reactionary energy, or also any and all of the energy that was carried from, let's say, that other person, they hit the trigger. So, well, there's a transference of energy. So if that is being stored or carried in your body or in your energetic field, we want to just simply release it. It's like it's taking an energetic shower. And so there's lots of different visualization tools, there's lots of different methods to do this. I personally, my favorite is to allow that inner heart radiance, allow my inner heart to beam and beam and beam and beam, because then I know that I'm setting my frequency, my field to my personal signature vibe, right? We can channel divine source codes, we can channel ascended masters and beings, but the thing is, even right now, there are so many distortions in that we want to make sure that we are generating from that pure conscious space of our own illuminated light. All of us have that pure channel inside of our heart. It's absolute. There's nothing that's getting in the way of that. There's nothing that's distorting that. There's nothing that is going to create any sort of falsities around what is going on in the center of your own heart. Now, as we do this, what will happen and what will come up is all the areas and guards and blocks and barricades that you have created consciously or unconsciously around your heart. So when we get hurt, or when somebody does something, we'll say to us, but really they're doing something for us, our heart responds with a reaction, and in most cases, especially if it's a deep, deep wound, we create barricades, we create walls, we create these things to keep people out. Well, when it comes time to utilize your heart or connect with your soul map or connect with your soul journey, and you want to have a little bit of a different life experience, then by opening your heart, you start to see that there are different components in this world that will allow you to activate and experience life from a more full-hearted, open-hearted place. But the thing is, to get there, you have to move through the barriers and barricades. And oftentimes, this is where the mind doesn't want to let this happen, because the ego's job is actually to protect the heart space. The ego's job is actually to protect us. So the ego is doing a very, very good job, and the mind, right, is doing a very good job of making sure that pain doesn't come again. That's what it is there designed to do. It's a fight or flight system. So we don't want to force this process. Rather, when we start to open the heart and the mind starts freaking out and it's like, wait, don't you remember this? And don't you remember this? And don't you remember this? And don't you remember this? This is why we built those walls. You don't need them. You don't need these people, right? We need these walls. We need these things. And so that becomes, it's like a very delicate back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, where the mind needs to be shepherded and loved and nurtured by the heart, where the heart is saying it's okay. Because that internal battle is not something that you want to prolong. And so what I have found to be the best way to mitigate that internal battle is to allow the mind to really connect in with the heart, because the mind has access into the purest form of your own heart. Your own mind has full access into the depths of the capabilities that your heart has. But chances are you haven't even tuned into that all the way, one, because you probably didn't know that you could. And or two, when you start to recognize the power that your heart has, holy moly, hold on to your seat. Because there's going to be all sorts of things that start shifting and rearranging in your world. So feel that connection being made. Feel that radiance naturally taking place. That whatever was there that was even keeping you out, your mind, your connection, your awareness, whatever was keeping you out there, is now dissolved, is now gone. And let it be released. Let this shift be lasting. Let this shift be permanent. The thing about letting go of walls and barriers, these things that we think we need, is that when you let them go, you still recognize the frequency or the awareness of what took place and actually what happens, because those walls themselves are carrying a frequency. So the wall itself actually becomes the magnet. because it is subconscious. So the subconscious magnet starts attracting similar experience to what has happened in the past until you overcome and break the pattern. So what we're doing right now is we are getting ahead of that wave, and we're breaking the pattern before a circumstance comes into our life that we have to learn it the hard way, or we have to learn it the challenging way, or we have to learn it with other people, like having difficult conversations and overcoming these things and probably creating community rifts and all the other drama that comes along with these like inner workings of how we move and grow through things. So when you allow this connection to happen and feel it again, notice what you notice as you go into mind, go into heart, go into mind, go into heart, feeling as you navigate your internal system a little bit more consciously. That when you connect there in your heart space, you can feel the shift and change, where the stories don't matter. And this is what I mean by this. The stories don't matter. The characters don't matter. What has happened doesn't matter. We want to kind of grab into and think that these things do, but ultimately we're allowing that heart-centered space to just surrender, to be easy, to be calm, to be graceful, to be present, and just simply melt. Melt, 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 melt. So when you release these barriers, when you release the walls, when you release the fear of getting hurt, when you release the pain that you're holding, and you give yourself full permission to just explore, what would my heart feel like without this pain? What would my heart feel like without this heaviness? What would my heart feel like without this density? And then you can choose, okay, I want to carry the density, or you can choose, oh my gosh, that feels really, really good to be open. It feels really, really good to set my heart free. It feels really, really good to let my heart breathe. It feels really, really good to let my heart wander and not be controlled or mitigated or suppressed by the mind or past experiences. Allowing your heart space, that center, to be free, open, clear, purified. Hello, my love. You're doing a great job, and right now you're learning to heal that space within yourself. Oata ika uapua sata ikiniawa. Oapua nikia asatakiawa uapuku utuni. Apu utukua haakapu utukuniawa akaya satani iaha apu. Sayaku apu tani kia haa. Aya satani iawa pu upu utu upu ayatani. Ayawa wapu uasa ata akayawa upu ukua a. Iawa aniki iawa uapuaka ataniawa apukua. Apukua, 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 uapuku, puku, puku, ataniki, iawa puakua, 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 puakua. You are so deserving of experiencing your free heart. Experiencing your heart free and open, relaxed. It is your birthright. It is your natural state of being. So allowing yourself to be unbound, releasing all restrictions, releasing all cages, all barriers, all walls, all guards. Allowing that open-heartedness to be open, 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 open. Breathing in light, breathing in love. I'm with you, my sweet friend. I adore you. I'm so thankful for your presence here. you for sharing this moment with me. And of course, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your notes, what this experience was like. Thank you for sharing with friends. And thank you for honoring that goodness inside of the center of your own being that is open to experiencing more radiance. I do encourage you to let that aspect, let that part just shine, beam, be brilliant as you are. If you're interested in going further, of course, please do feel free to go to monadsociety.com. That's MONAD society.com. You can also just simply check the link in the description below for the new and also current flagship offers. So that, my love, I'm going to keep that promo short and sweet because this space here and it just feels so good. And so as we go forth, may we integrate the healing and the lessons received with courage, self-love, and compassion. Our session here today is complete. And I want to say thank you so much for joining me for yet another one. I'm here every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'll see you again so soon. All right, my love. Ciao, ciao.